All right, so here's how you use a foam roll. Just some basic information. The key is you don't want to roll over the bones and you don't want to go too fast, and you want to find the spots that are really uncomfortable and just kind of press into them a little bit. So we're going to teach you how to move your body back and forth. The key is stability and positioning. And then you find the area and just kind of roll into it. But you're going to want to use your forearm, right? And your other leg to prop yourself back and forth, because this is kind of a hard foam roll. So we want to make sure that we don't push on too hard if it's really that uncomfortable. So baby steps with this, right? Because this can be painful. But this is more of a medium disc, because there's some more dense ones. So this is a good one to start with. The other ones can like flatten out a little bit, and then they don't last as long. So the key with this one, again, we're going to prop our arm up here, prop our leg up here, keep the back leg that we're rolling on straight, and we're going to use this leg to push and use this arm to hold ourselves up. We're going to keep this leg straight that we're rolling on. So right now we're rolling on the IT band. Now the key, we don't want to roll on this part, we want to go from here. So if you look, I don't do this, right? Ow, that hurts, that's a bone. But right below it is where the muscle inserts into the bone. It's called a tendon. And that you can just lean into. Oh, that feels really good, right? So we're just gonna roll a little bit. And you can move your arm a little bit. And then find that spot that's like, oh, that's a good spot. For me, it's like right there. It's like, oh, that's really good, right? Switch sides, same thing. Bend, right, bend that leg, arm here. Back leg straight, right? Roll in. Don't roll high, right? That's the bone, don't do that. Roll nice and gentle. And roll maybe 3 or 4 times, couple breaths, so you feel it release, right? So that's for the IT bands. The next one is the front of the legs. This one's pretty easy. On the forearms again, you're just gonna roll back and forth. And you can kind of lean, right? Just a little bit to get one of the front muscles, and then you can kind of lean to get another front muscle. Again, I don't want to go high because that's the front of the hip. So I want to stay a little bit lower and kind of roll back and forth. So it looks kind of like this. And then I find a tight spot and I kind of shift, bounce it around. Again, go slow. Right, find a front one. You can go a little bit high, but before the bone, there's a tendon, and that's usually tight. So right here, that can be really tight, but right here is the bone, wherever it is on you. So find where your bony landmarks are. This is a spot that can be really tight on people, okay? So that's front and side. The back one is a little bit difficult to get into it. So we need to get into the back muscles. Most of the hamstrings tend to run on the inside, like here. So we'll show you how to do that one also. For the hamstrings, I kind of just roll it this way, and you want to use this arm stability. And you can just kind of do this. I don't really feel that. Some people might, right? You can lean a little bit into one leg. I find this not super effective, but I find this great for the calves, right? We're rolling on the calves, right? This part here, this is a tendon, so you can roll there, but you're gonna wanna roll on the muscle more. Remember, so the more you get down here, the more you can irritate it because it's close to the bone. So really roll on the calf muscle. And if you don't feel that tight, I like to cross my ankle over, and now I'm pushing up. Hey buddy, yours in the way. I'm pushing my butt off the ground to put more weight to roll back and forth. Now the key with this is make sure your wrists are neutral, right? Not twisted, not back like that, neutral. So I can pick up, and I can roll there. And again, find the spot. It's like moving dough, basically, you know? Moving the stuff around, so go slow. Kind of feel that, right? A little bit on the outside, right? That feels really good. But find that one spot and just kind of hold into it, press, and switch sides. Now you can go a little bit longer, I'm just shortening it up for you. But go until you feel the muscle relax a little bit, right? So you really want to feel the release of the tension, so you're actually effectively releasing the pattern. The pattern is the whole leg. So if you just roll out one area, you're not really effectively releasing it, and you really need to move the whole thing around. because this won't effectively let go of the pattern if you're just one spot. So take the time to move the energy and the tension all the way around. Do the calves. It doesn't really important which one you start with, but do the whole thing and make sure you get the insides. Those are really important. Outside hip, right, if you want to do the hip right here, remember there's bone there and bone there. So when we get into the hip muscles, there's not a lot of moving. There's just, you find the spot and sit into it. Kind of looks like this. What I like to do is take my leg that I'm leaning into this muscle. This is the leg that goes up, right? Opens the hip joint a little bit. And I'm rolling, so I'm basically rocking like this, rolling into it, and I just sit. You'll find when you get on it, and it's like, oh, right? Yeah, that hurts. It's not good. So those are just an easy one. There's not a lot of rolling. You don't want to do that. I'm rocking towards the side of this, right? So you want to rock your pelvis in. You can feel a little bit there too, but there isn't any up and down because there's no space. There's two bones right on the other side, not a lot of room. So same way, look at here, I roll, find a spot. Some might not feel this. I feel it. Lacrosse ball works better a little bit in the hip, but you might feel this, right? You can, I'm not a huge fan of this, but you can do this. You want to start higher, like if your last rib you feel, you don't want to go any lower than that because you'll push the ribs in, and then that can feel good. So you want to make sure that you can roll up here, but the key is your spine curves. So you want to just do just a small area. I like to keep my head neutral, so you can roll here and work on that. Especially right around where the bra strap is. That's perfect area to get this moving because that's right above the hip flexors and that area gets so tight, right? So this is good for that. It isn't good for the upper body. The rest of it, great for lacrosse ball. This you can use to move the muscle tension here. We'll do that on another video. So now let's do the inside of the hip, right? Because that's the difficult part. So we want to think of perpendicular, right? Perpendicular. Here's the inside of the leg, here's the foam roll. Perpendicular. So I like to position it slightly at a diagonal and then cross my leg over so that it's almost perpendicular to my leg into the foam roll. And you can angle it around until you find the right spot, and then you just lean into it, right? So here's what I'm doing. I'm just leaning into it, right? So you can see it better this way. Perpendicular, right? And there's a big muscle pattern right here that stabilizes the knee, and that can be really sore. So you're just gonna roll into that. And again, forearm, and my core is not loose. My core is tight. It's actually helping me stabilize my shoulders, my neck, because you don't want to be crunching your body. You want this really relaxed and gentle. This one can be super sore. So find the right spot and then just sit for a little bit. Breathe, right? Are you breathing? You should breathe. Breathe. Very important. Breathe. See how that one's like, oh, that hurts right there. Ugh. This is often the ones that we find super, super sore. So again, I'll show you this way. Perpendicular, right? I'm just pushing my leg over it. Kind of working through that. So now you can get into the front of the hip and just hold it. And it's just really gentle. My other leg is just laying on the ground. So this is a really easy one to do, but it can be really tender. So you gotta just be really gentle with it. But yeah, that's a good spot right there. Oh. All right, so some really easy tips. Good starting, right? Key, a lot of us, right in here, super tight. Right in here is super tight, right? So those areas to work. So again, find that spot and just lean into it. Right? Super sore, just hold it. Like that's perfect right there, just hold it. Same on the other side. Now this is right below the bone. So find that bony spot and then right below, That's where you want to be, and that's the one you want to hold at. You don't want to roll back and forth because you'll give yourself bursitis. So that's where I kind of just hold and I kind of just feel into it like, ugh. And then as I get down lower, then I can roll. Right? Now if we want to do the front of the shins, the top of the shin is bone and the inside is bone and there's nothing else there. This muscle is behind it, and then there's these muscles called your perennials. There's 3 little ones and they go all the way down the ankle. So this is a little bit difficult. So if it's too complicated, don't worry about it right now. Just make sure you get this side and the inside and the calf, right, and the front. Do some other stretches for the hamstrings if you need to. But this one can be a little complicated, so I'll show you, but if it's too complicated, we'll do another video. So again, I'm waiting here, contracting on my forearms, and I'm going back and forth. Now again, it's on the outside knee, just below, right? And I'm not getting towards the ankle, right in here. So you can kind of feel it. I mean, you can roll around a little bit on here, but you can really feel it right in there. So just do a little bit. If not, you just do some stretch with your legs, knees, or your ankles pointed. But some basic stuff, hopefully that helps. We'll get a little bit more detail in the next video, but that gives you a little basic start on how to use the foam roll. Cool.